brown cow? How now, brown cow?
All now, brown cow, the deer's near, the duck is stuck.
How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow?
Dan here with your outdoor radio news for this week. We made it, right? Fall is here, the days are getting shorter, temperatures are dropping, and fall is just around the corner. And we at Learn to Hunt here can't wait. A couple important dates we want to quickly touch on. September 1st, dove opener. So dove season is now officially open and has been for a few weeks. According to a lot of reports we heard from hunters and some past participants who've been out in the field, it was a really great dove year this year. There still is quite a bit left of the season. So if you're interested in getting out for the dove, but you happen to miss the first few weeks of the season, that season does run through November 14th. So definitely check that out. And the nice thing about waiting after that first week is a lot of these sites become first come, first serve, where you don't have to go through that lottery process to obtain a permit to dove hunt. So if you're interested in dove hunting, check that out as the season is still open. Another season that's currently open is the squirrel season. Obviously that opened on August 1st. And we here at Learn to Hunt have been out quite a bit, and we're already seeing a pretty big shift in squirrel behavior. So towards the latter portion of August and into early September, they were really keyed in on hickory nuts, but they've started to transition to acorns as all those hickory nuts have been consumed. But now the acorns are really starting to drop. And obviously we are under a little bit of drought stress this year. So anecdotally, it seems like the red oak acorn crop, which is not as susceptible to drought conditions like the white oaks can be, it seems like that red oak acorn crop is going to have a pretty strong crop this year. So definitely kind of key in on those areas, both for squirrel as well as deer season when that opens here on October 1st. So the Illinois Deer Archery statewide season, like I just mentioned, opened on October 1st and runs through January 15th this year. So we here at Learn to Hunt are super excited and really looking forward to get out in the tree stand and chasing after those elusive Illinois whitetail. One data source that I really like to follow and that I'll bring you kind of regular updates throughout this year is the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Crop Progress Report. And as much of us know in Illinois, Illinois is a very ag-dominated state. And so I find it as a public land hunter especially important to follow along with crop status and crop progress, because I naturally see a big shift in deer behavior when those crops start to get harvested and removed from the landscape. Then I see a lot more deer, transitioning back to those oak and acorn feeding habits. So this is a data source that I like to watch quite a bit. First up is the maturation rate of corn. So how much of our corn is mature? So this year, or this newest progress report, which was released on September 15th, highlights a 50% mature corn rate, which is slightly above the 5-year average, which is normally 47%. But last year, it's actually a little behind last year. So last year at this exact time, we were at about 60% mature rate. So that corn is starting to mature here pretty quickly. Another one I like to look at is soybeans dropping leaves. So this is a pretty good indication of when that soybean is becoming mature. The 5-year average for the soybeans is 39% mature rate. This year we're at 60%. So those soybeans are dropping leaves and maturing a lot quicker than usual. So all that kind of information is really something I like to follow, and it gets a lot more influential, especially as we start seeing harvest rates. So looking at this report, there are some harvest rates, but we're looking at 1 to 2% of the entire statewide corn has been harvested. So we're just getting started. But as the weeks progress and we get closer and closer to October, that's when I really find this data valuable to start looking at those harvest rates and when a lot of that ag crop is being harvested and removed from the landscape. So that's it with this edition of the Outdoor News. Catch you on the next one.
Welcome to the Hound Up. Since we're focused on the eagerly awaited deer seasons this episode, I wanted to use this segment to highlight a valuable resource that I think all Illinois deer hunters should be aware of, the Illinois Deer Trackers Network, or the IDTN. Let's say you're out in the woods, you take a shot, and something happens. Maybe the shot was off, the deer moved, whatever it was, your deer didn't go down like you expected. Or maybe you went to recover your deer before it could bleed out fully and you bumped it, so that wound had just enough time to clot, but now you don't have a blood trail to follow. They may have gone quite a distance, could be on somebody else's property for all you know, and you're not really sure what to do. For yourself, you obviously want that deer. And legally, you're required under the wanton waste laws in Illinois to make a reasonable effort to retrieve that animal. One option you have is to call all your family and friends and start doing a grid search. But you need to pull back to give that deer time, probably several hours to be on the safe side, to expire so you don't bump them again. And it's probably not going to be as simple a task as it sounds. A better option is to back out, call in a blood tracking dog, which is actually a misnomer. The dogs are trained to trail deer based primarily on the scent from the interdigital glands in the hooves of the deer, not on their blood. And they prefer it if you don't trample all over the area before they get there. Then you wait until night to track them. This is good for two reasons. First, it gives the deer a chance to expire, and second, legally in Illinois, they can't track wounded or dead deer until after dark on public land. From their website, the IDTN is a self-governing network of dog tracking teams who track deer for hunters within the state of Illinois and surrounding states. When a hunter calls on a member of the IDTN, the hunter can be assured that the team they are calling is a quality tracking team, has a proven history of recovering deer, has made a commitment to providing professional service, and has agreed to adhere to the bylaws of the IDTN. Their website is great. They have a nifty Find a Tracker map where you can zoom in and get details for who is available near you or near where you're planning to be hunting this season. I recommend you go ahead and check this out before you go out in the woods and put their contact information in your phone so you're ready to go. IDTN also encourages that you reach out to those trackers before the season begins to establish a working relationship and ensure all your questions about the use and operation of tracking dogs are thoroughly addressed. If you want more details, you can check out the IDTN website at ildeertrackersnetwork.com. And we've actually done two past episodes with them on our podcast. Episode 22, Deer Recovery with Dogs, with special guest Gary Blessing, and episode 50, Deer Tracker discusses deer recovery tips and surviving hunting accident with Ron Slifer. And I'll make sure those links are put in the description below. Good hunting.
Hello and welcome to the Hunting Illinois podcast. I'm Jason. With me today we have Dan, Curtis, and Lauren. So far this fall we've had a busy fall. So just as a programs and as individuals, we've had just an action-packed fall. We're going to kind of go over just what we've been doing as a program, and we've done a couple events, and we also did a few mentored hunts already. So we'll cover those, and then we are 2 weeks out. I just looked at the calendar. I'm like, how many days is it? I'm like, oh, 2 weeks. We're recording this on the 17th, so in 2 Wednesdays from now we can be out hunting deer. Archery season starts off. So we're going to kind of go over our season goals for the year and what we're kind of doing right now, getting ready for the season, which is creeping up on us very quickly at this moment. So to begin with, though, what are some things that have we been doing this September already, Dan?
Yeah, it's been, like you said, quite busy. One of the big things that we've really been focused on is obviously some archery events. And so our archery events, we kind of developed a new event model for this year just to kind of test it out. We plan on definitely doing more in the spring and then obviously a bunch more next summer and leading into the fall. But essentially, it's just an opportunity to come out and sight your bow in. And so obviously, all of us have quite a bit of experience sighting in different archery equipment. And so it's just kind of a place that allows people to bounce ideas off, to try, and where we get to sit there and help them, adjust things and get things tuned properly so they're ready for the season. But one of the most, I think, interesting components that we added to that event is this blood tracking demonstration. And so we basically came up with we didn't come up with it. We found a recipe for basically creating some fake blood. And we essentially go and create several different fake blood trails throughout the woods, throughout different habitat types. And so we get to go over and talk about that entire process. And we've gotten some really interesting feedback and good feedback on that aspect of it. And I think it's one of those things you can see a million times in pictures or on, videos or different things like that. But when you see it in person and see how that process actually plays out, it makes it that much easier to retain, I think, that information. So we do a couple blood trails that are really good. It looks like a solid double lung hit, what we all hope for. And then we also do a couple blood trails that are a little darker blood, a little maybe more indicative of a bad hit. We even do one that maybe you don't recover that animal. So then we get to talk about what leads you at that moment to make that decision to, okay, I think that animal is either still on the hoof or I need to give it a lot more time. And so we've had a lot of fun with those events over
Mhm.
the past couple weeks.
Yeah, for sure. And then we also did a few mentored hunts as well. So I think we did one goose hunt, early goose season hunt, where we went to a past participant. Some of you might remember Reed. He had a friend of a family have a farm pond that we went out and were able to get a couple geese on. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a really good early goose hunt, and
Mhm.
it's probably a good learning. I know I learned a lot from that hunt, and that's the cool thing about hunting is you're always learning. But one of the biggest challenges that we ran into because we've hunted this place, we hunted it last year, and last year we had a really a good hunt the first day. But what we noticed this year is those birds were actively roosted on that pond when we got there, and so it kind of changed our strategy a little bit. And so what we did was we just kind of set up in an area, not necessarily where we were envisioning setting up. We just found some natural cover, kind of hid in that vegetation, and just kind of sat there and watched these birds for 30 to 45 minutes. Let it get really nice and light. We had a couple groups fly directly overhead. That if they would have honked and let us know they were coming, we probably would have had some shot opportunities because they were perfect range,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
They
they
just
they
came out
snuck
of
up on us.
yeah,
When
Yeah.
you're
came out of
alerted,
nowhere.
when you find, not that you see them, but you hear their wing beats,
Just
you know
that.
they're close.
Yep,
It's
yep.
like, what was that? And you look up and they're just flying right over top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just giant 747s. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that was cool.
For
So we,
context,
we
we had a big log behind us, like a
Yeah.
big log. So like we couldn't see them. Like
yeah, and we were pretty well hidden there, and so we let that play out for again 30 to 45 minutes, and then we kind of made the decision. All right, let's go get these birds off of the water, and get set up. And so we just kind of went in there, started setting up our stuff. The birds took off, and they came back within 15 or 20 minutes, and we had several nice groups that gave us some really good shot opportunities. I think we ended up with 6 birds
Yep.
down today, so it turned out to be a pretty good morning, all
Yeah.
and
things
if you come to
considered.
hunt camp, you're gonna be getting some goose.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna try to
Promise you
make
that.
goose jerky with 2 breasts that I got, and that will probably go pretty quick because I can't imagine it's gonna make a lot of it. So if you get there early, you'll be able to try some goose jerky, and then Lauren's got the rest of our portions to make up something as well.
I think my husband's trying to do something with the legs, like maybe goose leg confit or something. And then I
Mhm.
might do that Irish stew again. I'm not sure. I've had a couple people ask me about that, so we may be bringing some of that too.
Awesome. And
Nice.
if you're interested in a hunt like this, we are going to be giving away an early season Canada goose hunt at Hunt Camp this year, as well as a few other early season hunting opportunities. So if that sounds of interest to you, definitely come out and try to win that hunt. Be
It's a
fun.
Yep.
lot of fun. We had one of the guys that was with us said it was a little bit it was like being in like war. Like it was just so much going on and just
Yep.
like like or like a war
'Cause
where
we
like
had
new
groups
film.
dropping in from every
Yeah, like
direction.
we
We're
had
out there
so many
picking up
things
birds,
arrive
and
at
more
once.
birds are coming in. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was chaos, but in a good way.
And the
Hmm.
nice thing is it doesn't feel like it these days because it's back up into the 90s. But for a couple weeks there, we had some weather where boy did it feel like fall. And that was one of those mornings you could see your breath when you're out there. It was probably mid 50s when we started hunting. It was just really a fantastic day to be out there.
And we saw
Yeah.
some cool stuff. We saw a bunch of kingfishers, a bunch of
Hmm.
cool deer. We saw a big old coyote that was
Hmm.
waiting for us to get out of his field. Like,
Yeah, yeah. The second we got out of there he comes trotting across. Yep,
Hmm. And a crazy Reed update. He's a state trooper now. So he
yep,
went from
yep.
being our student worker. He's moved on now, and he went to academy, and he'll be a full-fledged state trooper at this point. It's pretty crazy to think about.
That it is. Time flies.
Yeah, I felt like it was just here. So yeah, so we did that. I think you also got out on some squirrel hunts, right, Dan?
Yeah, we had a couple squirrel hunts. They weren't as productive as we hoped. We definitely saw a bunch of squirrels on the last one. We had some good action, but obviously one thing we ran into, which it's a challenge this time of year. There's a lot of leaves on the trees, and we did not see a single squirrel on the ground or on the side of a tree. Every single squirrel we saw was way up in the canopy, chewing on hickory nuts. We'll throw some videos kind of over this conversation just to show it was literally raining down hickory nut particles on us, and we could hear the squirrel up there chewing. And we sat there for I don't know 30, 45 minutes just trying to see that guy, and we just could never see it. And so that happened quite a few times. So we got a lot of action, got a lot of cool things to see. We had a big raccoon sneak up on us. That's always fun,
and
but just couldn't seal the deal.
Mm.
the one day we heard one, it sounded a little freaky in the woods
Yeah, it
too.
sounded like a chupacabra out there.
Yeah,
Mm.
we were like, what is that? Or somebody trying to start like a lawnmower engine at like 6:30 in the morning. We're like, what is going
Yeah,
on? We were
and I know
nowhere near
Curtis,
it.
you've had some good squirrel action.
Yeah, the woods where I hunt, the hickory nuts are completely gone. They've been eaten out. They were gone before September, so there was about 1 week in August where the squirrels were hitting them like crazy, and insane amount of squirrels, the highest density of squirrels that I've seen in a long, long time, to be honest. And they switched over So now it's all acorns and walnuts. And because of the dry year, seems like they're really hitting red oak acorns just because the white oak acorns may have a rough year this year. I don't know. I haven't been seeing a ton of them around, but that's going to be very pocket to pocket. But around me, we had high density of squirrels, and yeah, it's tough hunting. It's we call it birder's neck that we usually put in the
I like
spring, where
that.
you're looking straight up for so long. I guess it would be the opposite of a tech neck, where people get that Hunchback of Notre Dame hump on your back. So if you're starting to develop one of those, go out squirrel hunting right now, and you'll probably fix it right up in just a couple days, because you're just staring up the whole time. And for me personally, all I listen for is that chewing, because that's the only thing that's going to be is a squirrel. Daytime, if you hear something up in the tree chewing, guess what? Birds don't have teeth. That's a dang squirrel. So if you wait long enough, you might get a sight of them. And that's why a lot of folks like to use shotguns this time of year. I'm still toting my 22. If it's legal to do so, that's what I'm going to do, because I love eating those young, tender gray squirrels, and I do not want to blow them to smithereens with my shotgun. Just my preference, but if I did have the shotgun, well, I'd probably be getting 4 or 5, 6 of them every time out. But I've been happy with just getting 2 or 3 with my 22, and that's I've been seeing a ton. But like you mentioned, so many leaves on the tree, it can literally take you an hour to get a shot after you locate the squirrel. Like, I know it's there, but it may take me an hour to find that squirrel in all the leaves. Obviously, they know they're safe up there, so they are spending a ton of time eating up on the top of branches, on the tops of big portions of leaves, and it makes it really tough this time of year, but also fun.
Yeah, people need to realize that the city squirrels are not the same as wood squirrels. And I've been walking around town in Champaign. I mean, all the campus squirrels, you're almost kicking them to get out of your way as you walk down the path. But these ones are used to being attacked by like coyotes, foxes, owls, hawks, everything else that's out in the woods. So they are a lot more weary and much more better at hiding than the old
Public land
town
squirrel
squirrel.
hunting can be humbling. Like,
Hmm.
it is not as easy as you think it's going to be sometimes, depending on the spot. But
Yep.
Until you go deer hunting, and then you'll sit in your stand and squirrel,
there
squirrel,
they
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
squirrel, squirrel.
Yep. Just gotta
I
change your
think people
priorities
just get
sometimes.
so familiar with squirrels, but you got to remember, these deer in the city act the same way. You
Hmm.
go to
Yeah.
some of these parks, and the deer just walk right up to you. I had baseball fields I played at that. I mean, you dropped a baseball, deer would run out there and try to eat it. Like, oh, is that an apple? Like, get away from my baseball, man.
I even remember
They'll
stories when Kentucky first launched their elk season. These elk had become so habituated to humans that the first few seasons they had extremely high success rates, and a
Mm.
lot of it was attributed to these animals. They haven't had a natural predator in that landscape forever, and so they just didn't associate humans with danger. I mean, now that they're in their 10th or 15th season of doing it, it's certainly changed quite a bit. But I always find that fascinating how quick animals can adapt to humans and just, oh, they're fine. Yep. Don't bother me. I won't bother you.
For sure.
Hmm.
I got to see this in real time one time. That was a side study we did up in Alaska. Most of what we were doing were phenology experiments with the vegetation and also banding geese. But on top of that, we got to add on this little camera trap study about disturbance, because just 5 miles away, which up there is your next door neighbor,
Yeah.
was a construction camp. And they actually had. They were way better set up than us. They called us the swamp people, and they just kind of laughed and joked about us. But they invited us over twice for meals and showers, which was super nice of them. But anyway, they were flying helicopters back and forth all day long, because they had to run water for some of their equipment. And so we got to put camera traps on these white-fronted goose nests to see how that would affect them. And what we found is, yeah, the first maybe 3 or 4 times that helicopter is spooking that goose off the nest. And then by the fifth, sixth, seventh time, the goose gets habituated. All right, this is not a giant Jaeger, which is a bird of prey up there for folks that don't know. And they get comfortable with it, and then they would just let it pass, and the goose would not move. Eventually, the goose would get to where it wouldn't even look at the helicopter, and it happened quicker than you would think, or quicker than I thought. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool to see that in real time, just animals getting habituated to danger or non-danger, happens pretty quick.
That's cool. Jason, I just got to give a quick shout out. Man, those posters behind you. Can you tell us about those a little bit? Those are awesome looking.
Yeah, the Illinois Conservation Foundation made them. I believe it is Jenny from the ICF was the designer of them, and she gave them to us that down at Bow. So we were down at Bow when she was down there selling them, and we'll have them at Hunt Camp for purchase as well. But we actually got those, and so we actually have a few more. I think we'll maybe have some up in your office eventually there, Dan. But it's different state parks across the state, and there are more designs. I think she has like 12 or so. I don't know if she's going to print out other larger ones eventually, and these are just the first four she printed out, but they're pretty neat. But yeah, we were
I
down at
really
Bow.
like that aesthetic. That's pretty.
Yeah,
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 it's amazing. I was blown away by them. She had those four on display, and I do think she's going to cycle through and get them all printed out at different times so they'll be available. Collect the whole set because, like, holy cow,
Yeah.
those look awesome. And obviously, local artist Jenny of ICF designed them. She is going to be at Hunt Camp. So not only can you go there and get posters from her, maybe she would even sign them for you. She's the artist that designed them all, and she can tell you about the how she incorporated little bits of history into each of them, and just really blown away by those posters. ICF and Jenny like knocked it out of the park. Absolutely, buy them all. Collect the whole set. Give them for Christmas presents. You better get
Ooh,
them
those
quick,
would
though.
make great Christmas presents. Yeah.
She's
ICF
running low
usually's
on those
got
that
some
she
good
brought to.
swag. Like if you dig through their website, they've usually got some good t-shirts, some good like they've got some good stuff. I
yeah.
check it out pretty frequently, so.
These are a pack of stickers that came with it. This is all the designs she made up.
Ooh, I like that one. That's pretty.
Yeah,
Oh, they're all just awesome.
Yeah.
I couldn't even pick a favorite when I was looking through there. I asked her what her favorite were, and she told me
Oh,
like six
jeez.
different ones were
Yeah,
they're all
yeah.
her
I love
favorite
that.
for different reasons. But yeah, awesome stuff.
Cool.
yep.
Well,
And
how
we
was
got
Bo?
Bo was awesome. I love
And,
Bo.
and
So
just to clarify, since
yeah,
I know some, Bo is the Becoming an Outdoors Woman program. But continue,
yep.
Jason.
It's put on by IDNR, and it's a bunch of ladies that get together, and it's usually in like a summer camp setting. So then they get to go out. This last one, we actually saw this one. This was the Northern Bow was up in Loden. Unfortunately, they closed down that site there for Northern Illinois University, so we can't go there anymore. So I'll have to find a new spot to host the northern one. But we went to the southern one down at Touch of Nature with Southern Illinois University campus, and so they get to go there. And for 3 days, they do all kinds of outdoor activities. It does cost money, but you get a lot for what you pay for. So I think it's like a 275 maybe per person, and we are going to be giving away. She's coming to Hunt Camp, and she's going to be giving away a gift card for one woman to go to one of those events. So that's like a
Awesome.
That's a
$275 value
really
right there. So that's pretty awesome.
that's a really good prize. Like
Yeah,
they fill up fast. Like when
yeah,
they
and
get
it's like
posted,
getting concert tickets. Like you have to
yeah,
be there.
they go fast.
Yeah,
So if you're a lady, like it's a good prize.
yep,
And no
If you're
matter
coming.
what you're interested in the outdoors, like Bo has something for you. I mean, I don't even remember all the things they had that you
yeah.
could go to, but you could go to frog gigging, you could go to canoe rides, you could go to yoga, you could go to
Power tools,
archery.
trailer backing up,
Yep.
red banding,
Handguns,
fur
butchery,
sewing, squirrel hunting, like kayaking, horseback
fly
riding.
fishing
Yeah,
was
there's so
one.
much. There's
Knot
so much.
tying. I saw Kimberly was
Weaving
there
or
from ECIA.
spinning wool and
Yeah,
yarn was one year.
yeah. Cooking in
There's
the
a ton of cool
outdoors.
stuff.
Rock climbing was one.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, Kimberly did like three that was like all survivalist stuff, and I'm like, man, you're getting ready. And one was knot tying,
Like bushcraft, maybe,
bushcraft, and
like
then another
wild
one.
foraging. But yeah,
Yeah,
if you're interested in anything in the outdoors, you're going to find some stuff at Bo that's going to be like, wow, that's amazing. And I think everybody that comes gets to pick like four different sessions because they start on Friday and then they got two on Saturday and one on Sunday. So all together, you get to pick four different classes, hang out with a bunch of like-minded women down there in the dorms, and they feed you and the whole nine yards. So
hmm
it's a pretty cool weekend, I think.
Yeah, I was sad I missed it this year. I was up at a family outdoor day, the same weekend, but this is what our third or fourth time helping out with an Illinois bow
third.
camp.
Yeah,
And I tell you, every time we do, we come back just invigorated and inspired. What that program has really built itself into something cool. So definitely check it out.
Well,
Yep.
it also helps us because we wind up seeing a lot of these women at our
Yep.
workshops
Yep.
because they might not have known us before this, and now all of a sudden they do know us, and so it's full circle. Hopefully we help them develop an appreciation for some outdoor thing, and then they appreciate us by signing up for our stuff. So hey, we'll
Win
take.
win.
Yeah, we actually had a woman. I remember we did like a kind of a general hello last fall, and then after that we had a woman come to one of our events, and she wasn't even in one of our classes that we were hosting down there. She just saw us there, and the hats give it away,
Yeah.
and then so then she joined one of our events, and she's like, "Oh, I saw you guys at Bow," and we're like, "Oh, were you in our class?" And she's like, "Nope, I just saw you guys were there," and then so it led from there. Just so they didn't even take our class, and they showed up to one of our events, which is nice. So yeah, so yes, that was Bo. What else did we do since then? Lauren,
It's
you
been
went and
busy.
did all kinds of trapping stuff. You did trap week. I think we talked about Wisconsin Hunt Women's Trapping Camp, possibly already. We interviewed the
We had a whole
um
episode on it. Yep,
yeah,
we
we had the
did.
whole episode on women's trapping camp, but then since then, what else have you been up to?
So I also missed Bo, unfortunately, but that's because I was in Indiana. I was lucky enough to get a scholarship for Fur Taker of America's Trappers College. So I'm now certified as an expert trapper, which I think is optimistic on their part, but um, you know, hey, I'll take it. Um, it was amazing. It was a lot like Bo actually in terms of like a summer camp vibe for like adults.
Hmm.
Uh, week long, start 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, roll until 10 o'clock at night, setting traps, picking everybody's brains, checking trap lines. Then we'd go back, we'd have a round robin so we could learn from all the instructors, even the ones we didn't have, do dinner, and then we'd have lectures in the evening. It was so much information. Like I know I missed a ton just from being new, but I also know I got a ton out of it. I literally my notebook I have so many pictures, I have so many notes. They sent us back with a ton of like just bits and pieces and books and gear and just freebies and just all sorts of interesting stuff. But I was not expecting to get as attached to the people, like the instructors, but even different DNR. It was a lot of DNR, CPOs from different states, a couple just really cool individuals who just wanted to be there and learn for trapping. That was really cool just to see people who were just like, I want to do this, so I'm going to pay and go do it. Um, it was awesome. It was one of the best things, honestly, I've ever done. I'm more proud of my certificate from that than I am of any of my college degrees, if I'm being honest with you. Like that one's going on the wall. It was amazing. I want to go back. I think we should all go, frankly. It was, it was fantastic. I am so much more confident going into trapping season than I would have been otherwise in terms of just like equipment and securing things. And I know I'm going to make mistakes, but I feel a lot better. I will say I was in my group the worst. I caught one thing because we were allowed to use snares in Indiana on land, which you cannot do in Illinois. So I took the opportunity to be able to practice that. And my particular kind of group mentor in my group is like the snare guy. So I was like, well, okay, this is a good opportunity. So we ended up doing like a group set in a snare. We caught something in that. My whole group of 14 people, we got, I think, 47 raccoons. You know how many of those I got? One in the group set snare. Okay. And they were toying with my emotions. We did beaver set snares. They're like, Lauren, you got one. No, the guy next to me, his snare got a beaver. Okay. Like, so I will get my own this year. It will be fine.
It
I'm not
happens.
worried.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not, no, but the thing is too, because we had so many people, we tended to have clumps of traps. So a lot of
I
it
don't
honestly is
doubt
just,
that. Yeah.
it was just honestly the way things are coming. So I was like, man, they're like, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just,
Yeah. There's a lot of luck of the draw in a
Hmm.
situation like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like they just came from this way. So it is what it is. But I learned a lot of really cool tips and tricks. And poor Curtis, I've been hassling him since I've been home too. Like, hey, what about this? But I don't want to go into it too much because we're definitely gonna do a deeper dive on that and talk to there are a couple Illinois instructors. So we're gonna talk to them at some point. Like
Hmm.
I said, I made some good friends, so it'll be a good time. But I do think we
Awesome.
should all try to do it as a team. I think it'll be it'll be a good time.
Cool.
Very cool.
I got a quick question. As like an outdoor educator that we are, and as an outdoor educator going to another outdoor education event, what do you think that you picked up from it that you might be able to use in our program that they did really well, that you think that gave you all that confidence? Is because exactly what we try to do, especially for any new person coming out. It's educating them and letting them know what to do, but also building up the confidence to let them go out and try it themselves. So what do you think they did that gave you all that confidence that we might be able to pick up? Or if it's something that we're already doing already, just that's fine too.
Yeah.
But what about it was so great?
I think trapping is inherently a little more scary, at least for me. Like it's a big metal piece of metal. So,
Hmm.
right. So I think um literally just getting your hands dirty and like I got caught in traps, like it's not the end of the world. So honestly just doing it, like just making us do it.
Hmm.
And like being nice about it. But oh, and also if you're struggling, like be like, oh, here's a trick to make this easier. Or like some of those little, bedding your trap is a really important thing, right? So just basically we had a lot of instructors who had gone through the college, and I would ask everybody, like, you were through here, like, what was the thing? Because okay, first they sort you into groups, like based on experience levels. So some came in at group one, two, three, four. Some came in already at group five, which is the highest experience. Um, some have been through multiple times. Some have taught group one before they were group five. So I would always ask, like, what is either what you taught or when you came through, like, what was the thing that for you made it click? So some stuff is way out of like my realm of what is relevant to me, but some of that thing that was really helpful. So for me personally, that's kind of some of the stuff I'm trying to take for like as I'm learning things for with what we're doing, like
Hmm.
what made it click for, when we're doing wing shooting like with that elbow trick to pop that elbow up to get the gun where I need to be so I don't have to drop my head down. You know what I mean? So like what like making those kinds of notes to pass on to people. Like what's the thing that made, how to bid my trap click? What makes, you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
specific thing that makes like the trick that for me, how to think about it that kind of made it work. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
The little tips that you gain with experience, and if they could just tell you instead of having to learn it yourself would be great. So
Yeah.
yeah, so find out the little shortcuts and the different tricks and things like that is definitely something you're not going to get unless you sit there and chit chat with someone and make because it's stuff that probably they do without even thinking about at this point. So until you ask them about it, they're not even going to remember to make that a point to point out. That's interesting. Yeah, cool.
So yeah, so some of that kind of stuff. So I've been kind of thinking about that's one of the things I want to do going forward. Um, like Curtis talks about like listening for the little, the like with the squirrels, the little like chewing for things. You know what I mean? For just
Hmm.
some things like that. We kind of do all that anyway, but just paying more attention, like because I am new, like what you guys tell me or other people like that kind of makes it stick in my mind or is like the aha moment. Um, so I thought
Hmm.
that was really helpful. But honestly, a lot of it is just getting your hands dirty and doing it and
Yeah.
then not making, which I think we do. That's one of the reasons I wanted to work with you guys. Like it's not, we do a good job, I think, of not making people feel afraid to ask questions or feel a little bit silly for trying. And I think that goes a long way. So,
Yeah. Yeah, we saw that a lot at Bow. We had a few ladies, like we were doing archery was one of our sessions. It was just general archery. It wasn't hunting archery. It was just the archery range. We ran it. And we had a couple animal decoys out, not decoys, but 3D targets out. And really just we just had a turkey out at the moment. And we had a few women come up and be like, I don't want to shoot the turkey. And I think they thought, and I actually I had a friend in the class too. And she's like, well, we don't know what you guys are going to be like. We don't know if you're going to be like, no, you got to shoot the turkey or else you can't do it. Or like, oh, yeah, you have to, like, we don't know how big of a jerks you're going to be about it.
mhm,
And especially us being two dudes in a woman setting as well, I'm sure, and women who don't hunt. And so there's all these different stereotypes that we got to break through and not be jerks and also not be, be in um, what's not courteous, but yeah, anyway, just don't be jerks. So we were super nice and almost like you don't need to shoot anything you don't want to do. Like we're just here. If you want to shoot the big block, go shoot the big block. That's totally fine. And they were like, okay. And like I don't know if they were expecting pushback from that or what, but it's just being open and allowing people to do what they're comfortable with, but give them the space to try new things at the same time.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
East
thing
Traverse College.
we
Go ahead, Curtis.
need to bring up about that don't want to gloss over is that for the first time ever, we had the thrown target hit by
Hey.
archers.
Yeah.
So we've never had a student. So for those of you that don't know, in some of these archery workshops that we do, where it's safe to do so, we have a throwable target. I think we actually have two of them. and we can actually do a little, I don't know, bunny rabbit slash pheasant. We can simulate that by chucking this target downhill, and then we've got some arrows made up with the big flues,
Hmm.
and we got a recurve, and it is a heck of a lot of fun
It's a lot of
trying to
fun.
shoot this moving target with this, and we've never had anybody hit it. It's just fun, but nobody's ever hit it, and we had 3 different hits in this workshop.
Wow.
So
That's
I
awesome.
think, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that just Jason and I were such good instructors. We made like a dozen Katniss Everdeen's, and like they're all slinging arrows you wouldn't believe. But yeah, they
I
hit
That's
say, was
awesome.
it
three
was it
different.
one prodigy or was it three different
Three different ladies did it.
I
Yeah.
think it was
dang.
three different
Yep.
hits, 3 different ladies. Like, yeah, it's good.
That
And good, solid hits too.
Yeah, so we shoot intuitive. We have the Genesis Matthew bows, which go from anywhere from like 10 to like 30 pounds when you crank them up, and they're probably set to about 20. And they really it was the most improvement. Excuse me. It was the most improvement. We had them in like 4 groups of 3, maybe, or 3 groups of 3. I don't know. But we'd have them go up. They'd shoot. The first time they'd shoot, they were all over the place. They're hitting the backdrop and everything else. And then literally, we got every woman to be on target before they left. And we had 4 hours of shooting, and they got tired eventually too. But they were pretty much actively shooting the whole time. And then towards the end is when we started doing the moving target and stuff like that. But it was like exponential improvement across the board after
It shows
about
what a little
45
practice
minutes.
can do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and
That's
they were
awesome.
so getting onto it, and it sounded like a bunch of them were gonna start getting equipment, and they're like, "Is this the bow I should get?" I'm like, "If you like it, I mean, it's you can put sights on it, and that's totally a good target shooting bow if that's all you ever want to do." And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, yeah, it's like $200. Go ahead." And so yeah, and then they were like, "Oh, we're totally getting these. Oh, we're totally gonna do that." And more than just one. I mean, it was multiple of them. We're all getting on board. So it's just that type of stuff's what jazzes us up. That's what Dan was saying. When you go to bow and in the trap camp, and you're going to these places where people are there because they want to be there, you can't help but pick up some of the energy of the group and get excited about it for sure.
And I will say too, the other thing is that I think is important that we try to do really well too is when people have questions later, because then you get home and you're like, oh man, like with Trappers College, you're like, oh man, like what was that wire or what was that, rod they used to modify that thing? Like I meant to take a picture, but I didn't bring my phone down to the water, and it's like, or like what was that bow? I meant to take a picture. So being able to answer follow-up questions and being open about it too, I think is really helpful. And that's
Hmm.
really what helps people get into things and like not making them feel silly or like a burden for answering, like that. It's always, I really appreciate the people who like already have been like, oh yeah, no worries, that was a da 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 da, because I'm like, it's just so much information, especially when you're brand new, you're like so overwhelmed. So
Hmm.
it's really helpful. So
Yeah, no, and then our program and their program are great because they can answer follow-up questions. Like we're not a one-touch program. We're always here. If people need us, they can reach out to us whenever they need to. So that's awesome. All right, I think is that all the updates, Dan?
I think so.
Did we hit
Yeah.
everything? I think so.
we've been
For the most
busy.
part, there's probably
We
we've
have
been
some
busy every
webinars and
weekend,
stuff
so
we've
there's
done
probably a
too.
million things we forgot,
Yeah.
but we'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a couple webinars. We had a teal webinar. We didn't go out teal hunting. We had it scheduled, and we just didn't make it because of scheduling and everything else. But so hopefully, if anyone got out early season, early waterfowl, hopefully you had some fun. And it was cool there for a second, like Dan said.
It
So
was
if we got out
gorgeous.
before it
Yeah.
got too hot,
And
um,
doves too, I hope people did well
yeah,
with that.
dove,
Looks
yeah,
like
Sounded like it was a
people.
heck of a dove year. Unfortunately, I didn't draw a permit, so I didn't make it out this year for dove. But
yep,
looking at what some of the Facebook groups have been posting over the past, couple weeks, sounds like a heck of a shoot.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, and it might be a little late in the year now, but for next year, folks, don't sleep on some of these dove areas, even if you don't draw a permit, because especially if you avoid that opening day, a lot of them have had vacancies even while they're still doing pretty well. So we're getting late. These dry summers are really generally pretty good for doves because it leaves all the food easily accessible for them. As soon as we get a good hard rain, all that food gets planted. But yeah, this year was really good for doves. It seemed like across a lot of the public land spots and pretty good hunting.
And we should mention we're giving away a couple early September dove hunts at this year's hunt camp. So if that's something of interest to you next year and you don't really know how to get started, maybe you just want to go with somebody your first time, come on to hunt camp, and that's another hunt we'll be giving away.
yeah. That's
Sure,
something
as
we're
well
doing.
as an early teal hunt as
Yep.
well for next year because we found a spot that we think's been pretty productive now the past 2 seasons. So we're gonna go and give it a try next year for opening weekend. And with teal, it's so weather. It's such, and I don't want to say weather dependent because teal are moving through by photo period. They're coming through whether
Mm.
it's hot or cold. But what's dependent is how long do they stick in Illinois. And at very best, we can maybe get them to stick here 3 to 4 days, and they are wanting to move on. But at worst, they don't even stop to pay a visit. And I think a lot of Illinois this year was so dry that we just did not have the habitat. What's natural in this, and what the teal have come to expect, is that it's dry in the summer, and so these mud flats promote vegetative growth, and then we get the rains in late August, September to refill those wetlands, and then when they come through, they get fresh new water over some new vegetative growth, and it's really good habitat to fuel them all the way down to Louisiana, Texas, and even beyond. But this year, we did not have a lot of that. The places that did have habitat sounds like they had good teal hunting early, but only a 9-day season this year. A lot of birds move through quick, and it sounds like right now, Texas, the teal season is going to be starting there in a few days, and they are going to absolutely hammer them because they have got probably a higher percentage of teal there than they have in the past couple years this early. So if anybody's still looking for that, hey, maybe look into a non-resident trip down to Texas because it sounds like they're stacking up for a really good year. And if I remember right, their season starts around the 20th or 22nd. So you've still got that 9-day season coming with a 6-bird bag limit if you go south. But in Illinois, it is no more. So it will be next year for teal for us.
Yeah, for sure. And that is something that previously, I think we just were hesitant to see if anyone would show up if we had any early season, like because our hunt camp is normally the last weekend of September, right before archery season, and we've been hesitant towards offering the early goose season, early teal season, and dove season hunts before, but now we're just going to do it because it's opportunities that we have good hunting that we can get on, and so if
And they're
you're,
hunts we all really like to do.
yeah,
They're
So
fun.
yeah,
So yeah, come out,
so.
plan, put it in your calendar if you want
Yeah.
to come
So I think
down.
what we're gonna end up doing is we'll give them away, and then those people will get them, and then if they don't respond to us come August next year, and we're checking in with them, then we'll just open it up and try to figure out how to get those mentored hunts filled. But so if look forward to that, if we can't find people to fill these hunts up, if they win them at a hunt camp and then ghost us. So but yeah, so with that, we can move into this coming archery season, which again, 2 weeks away. It
that's
is
crazy.
insane. Yeah, hunt camp's a week and a half away, and then the following Wednesday is archery season. So, what's everybody been up to? Let's just talk about generally like what you've been up to, and then what maybe your goals are for the year with archery season coming up so fast.
I'll start.
Sure.
Haven't done as much as I would have liked to at this time. I think we all get to this stage in the game. We're like, man, I wish I would have done a little bit more scouting. Now, I will say I have, and I think we're all a lot in the same boat. We
Hmm.
we tend to hunt the same public areas over and over and over again. So I don't do a ton of preseason scouting anyhow, just because I have a very strong understanding of how the deer naturally move through that landscape already. But I do wish I would have gotten out a little bit more in some of these bedding areas just to check to see are they still being used, that type
Hmm.
of thing. But I have been shooting my bow quite a bit. So if you listen to us, it was probably a year or two ago, I had a limb crack on my bow. And so I basically put that bow aside and just used my wife's crossbow last year. I got it fixed, so I've been shooting that for a couple weeks now. Feel really dialed in with it. Feel really good.
Nice.
Shot placement and my accuracy with it. And not to get too personal, but last year I had some big life altering changes that occurred during the fall with my wife, and so I wasn't able to get out as much as I liked. All that is well and good now, so I am very very motivated and itching to get in a tree very quickly. So I'm getting fired up. That's for darn sure. But I'll probably stick if you heard our podcast, it would probably been mid-November last year. I took a participant. I gave away this hunt at hunt camp, which I will be doing again. We call it I call it my rut special. And I'll take you to a spot where I anticipate seeing multiple mature bucks up on their feet. Last year at this specific hunt, I took Dakota. She won that hunt through hunt camp, and it was probably the first week of November-ish, so right in that sweet spot. And we literally saw 4, 5 really nice mature bucks on the feet, all within probably 100 yards of our set. Never got that great opportunity to get a shot. We had a nice little young buck sneak into about 15 or 20 yards. Weren't able to seal the deal, but that's the area I'm going to focus on myself a lot this year, for my personal hunting, and then as well as that hunt camp hunt that I'll give away, and try to get one of those bucks I saw last year on the ground, because I ran a couple cameras late season last year and they all survived deer season. Several of those bucks I still had pictures of on camera, so I know they're still out there. So I'd like to get one of those, just because that's an area I've shot some nice bucks at before, but some of those were just really nice. And again, you can't eat antlers, but I'm at this stage, especially this year, I want that mature buck down. That's kind of really what I'm focused on. I'll fill the freezer, get a couple does down early season, and then really switch my effort to trying to get a nice mature buck. And I don't care about antlers as long as it's a mature buck. That's kind of what my ultimate goal is for this year. And again, I think a lot of it is just because I didn't get out as much last year as I hoped, and so I'm just that desire deep to get out there.
Yeah,
Sure.
I just want to point out that like we got to give credit where credit's due. Illinois public and archery deer hunting is world class. There's no
Yes.
other way to say it. Are there things that could be done to make it better? Absolutely, but as it is right now, it is really good. And maybe on average, are there maybe less 170 plus deer out there than there was 10 or 20 years ago? Sure, probably, but there are quite a few of the 140-inch and above deer on public land, which are, some of you don't know what that means. That just means it is a big buck. It's the type
Mhm.
of buck that most people get it, and they're gonna want to mount that deer because it looks like a moose once you get up close to it. I mean, that is a big animal, and for you to be hunting on public land and see multiple ones of those while hunting, I mean, that is just something you can't do everywhere. So
No, no.
I know we
Nope.
complain a lot about some of our access, but got to give credit where it's due. And when it comes to archery deer hunting in Illinois, it is a good time. So those of you that have been on the fence, go give it a try.
Literally, just try. Just try.
You can really, there's a lot of diversity even within archery deer hunting. And Dan just talked about it. Like, he wants to go after a big buck, which adds a different element to it. It's almost like a chess game where you are trying to outmaneuver one of the smartest animals in the woods, which, hey, that's fun. There's an aspect to that. But if you just want to be the type to go out and fill your freezer, you could just go out and hunt good habitat, and you have a good shot over several days at getting an opportunity at a doe. And if that's what you're wanting, heck, that's fun too. And eating deer is a heck of a lot of fun.
Yep.
You want to have football parties where your friends come over and you're making dishes that they're going to be talking about for that whole week. You need wild game, because you're not going to do that with your classic old Rotel dip by emptying some cans in the crock pot. You got to go out and hunt something, and then you're going to make the kind of dishes that your friends will talk about. So, yeah, multiple reasons to get out in the woods, but now's the time to start getting ready. Some of the neighboring states have already opened. Missouri opens September 15th. So there's folks in Missouri that already could be slinging arrows, already be sitting up in the stand in 95 degrees swatting mosquitoes. Not for me, but
Not for me either, but yeah.
for some sadistic folks, I guess it's okay. But I'll wait till it cools down to about 50 degrees or so, which hopefully it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah.
And like Curtis said, I kind of want to reiterate a point, not to just sit here and copycat exactly what he said, but public land is so good in Illinois, and it gets overlooked so often. I mean, we were at an event, Curtis and I, it was a few years ago. I think we were at the state fair, and we had a young man come up and just start talking, hunting with us. We're like, hey, have you ever turkey hunted? Oh, no, our property just doesn't have any turkeys on it. Well, have you ever thought about hunting public land? No, I'll never touch public. And there's this stigma around public land that you're always going to run into people. You're always going to be overcrowded. You're never going to see game. You're just going to be harassed the whole time by other hunters. In reality, I see less hunters on public land than I ever anticipated. And I'll tell you what, I grew up hunting a 40-acre piece of farm where I had a tree that I would go and sit in that tree and I would have a chance at a nice buck at some point during rut from that tree. I didn't learn a darn thing about hunting, I'll tell you that. I learned how to just sit in a spot, wait for something to walk by. But public land where you get this, block of 3,000 acres of habitat, and you've got to figure out how the deer are naturally moving through the landscape. What is human pressure? Like Curtis said, it's this chess game that you get to play with these animals. And just to kind of wrap this little topic up, we're doing a couple webinars here in the next couple weeks. I'll have Jason, when he's editing, flash the dates on screen. But we have one that Jason and I are going to be doing on deer bedding, where we're going to go deep into the science of deer bedding. We're going to pull up some scientific articles. We're going to talk about a few of our hunting stories and strategies that revolve around bedding, show maps, illustrate that whole process. Because, like Curtis said, we have some of the best public land deer hunting in the country in this state. And all it takes is a little bit of understanding of deer behavior, deer ecology, a little bit of habitat and plant identification, and you can really start to break these pieces of big land up and go, oh, I bet that's a natural funnel. Deer are just going to naturally be using this corridor. And once you start to develop that, you're on your way.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I've been daydreaming about just walking through the woods in the fall with the leaves all changed out and it being cool out. I have oh geez Louise, the weed guy's outside my window. He just scared the crud out of me, man.
Oh,
Okay.
spraying, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, who's in my backyard? But
Better elaborate. The weed eater guy.
yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah. Anyway, I've been daydreaming about. I have a certain spot, this ridge that looks gorgeous in fall,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
It's my happy place. I go there, and like in the heat of August, I've been sitting there thinking about this, and I just can't wait to get back out and spend some time in the woods. Yeah. So
those few weeks we had where it was, highs in the
mhm.
low 70, man, did that get every fiber in my body ready
North
for season? It just,
Northeastern Indiana was gorgeous, and
I
coming
Oh
back,
yeah,
bet.
I was like, why is it hot? Like,
yeah.
why? Why am I coming home to it being hot?
I know. I've been wanting to get out to scout, and I just haven't been able to get it out of me to go in 90-degree weather. I just
Yeah,
haven't gotten over there. And it's like you said, Dan, we've been hunting the same kind of public land spots at this point. I mean, deer can change from year to year,
And
and
they
that's
do.
part of
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and that's totally part of it. They can move on from one spot to another and utilize different food resources and different bedding areas. New deer have been born and they age up, and now you're going to be hunting a completely new class of deer that are harvestable sizes and stuff.
And
So,
the land changes too.
yep.
You got to take that into account. They could do different management or
Hmm.
just
Which they have. We were out there
They
on a
have.
squirrel hunt that we talked about, squirrel hunting at our spot, our public land that we like to deer hunt. And a lot of the fields last year that were prairie have been converted to standing corn. A bunch of the standing corn fields have been converted to prairie. So there is that dichotomy of how stuff changes naturally. But for me, and I know Jason, you and Curtis, you probably fall along the same lines too. A lot of our, especially the site that we're kind of referring to, we have 3 or 4 sites in our area that we hunt. They're
Hmm.
vastly surrounded by nothing but giant ag. So I put much less emphasis on preseason scouting, just for the sole fact that the biggest food, the buffet for a deer, is still out there. The second those crops start coming off the ground, that's when I start to do a lot of my scouting. And I think that's another thing that people are like, I don't want to say scared, but hesitant to do on public land is scout during the
Mm.
season. I do that a ton. Now I'm not going to be out there scouting at 6:30 in the morning when everybody's expecting the deer to walk under their tree stand. But in the middle of the day, 10 to 2, definitely keep that scouting going throughout the season. I think that was the biggest change in my hunting efforts in the past, decade or so, that really increased my efficacy on public land, was continuing to scout throughout the season. Don't rely on what you saw just in August and September. You got to keep that scouting intel coming.
Yeah.
even if that's just taking a meandering path
Yep.
in and
Yep.
out of the woods, that's a little extra than you would normally do. Don't just treat that So many of us are guilty, like when we drive to and from, if you're going to and from work every day, right? You just black out. You're like a complete zombie just doing the same drive. Don't do that when you're walking in and out of the woods. Like, that's your time to learn everything. And I mean, yeah, like you, Dan, I always do my best scouting once it's already the season. Because, yeah, the preseason scouting is awesome, but everything does change just a little bit once those crops come out and once some pressure is on the landscape. So that during season scouting is what really is gonna, I think, teach you and set you above all the folks that aren't doing that.
Yep. And one thing that I have learned from my in-season scouting is you start to get a really solid understanding of where other hunters are setting. And I think for public land, it's super valuable. Obviously, you don't want to ruin their hunt. You don't want them ruining your hunt. But more importantly, like Curtis and Jason just talked about this concept of pressure. Deer pick up on that by October. So the season opens October 1. By October 3rd or 4th, you're going to see those patterns already start shifting from their summer behavior to a more, I don't want to say nocturnal, but they're going to be moving more in the dark than they have been, and a lot of that is due to pressure. And so a lot of what I'm doing that when I'm scouting in the season two is just paying attention. Where am I seeing people's boot tracks? Where am I seeing stands? If you're on a site that they can leave stands up, and I see a million stands in this section woods, but for some reason no one's going over there, well, I'm going to go over there. And so
Mhm.
that's a lot of what I look for during the season is obviously sign, scrapes, rubs, all that kind of stuff, but also what are the other hunters doing? Because deer are very good at just naturally, oh, there's pressure here. They're going to smell things, they're going to see things, they're going to hear things. Even if you as the hunter don't notice that you're getting busted, there's probably a lot of times where a deer smells you and just you had no idea it even existed, but it just moved it to a different area.
Oh, they know when the season starts. I'm
It's like,
sure that, they somehow they can smell it in each other's pee or something. And a lot of them will even choose bedding locations where they look over parking lots. So guess what? You think you're going hunting and you're walking into a pristine woods, and every deer in that woods might have heard you park because there are a few things as quiet as the woods right before
yeah,
dawn. Those deer know it. And that's why you'll see a lot of successful public land hunters. They're almost trying to fake out deer, even from that, where they'll have people drop them off and park elsewhere, knowing that there might be the deer that they're hunting is watching that dang parking lot. I know the hunting public is a big proponent of that.
hmm
Other folks have done that too. And I've definitely found buck beds right near parking lots frequently. And I mean, that's what it's all about. These deer, they don't get big on public land by being dumb.
no,
So
they do not.
you got to be a little bit above and beyond, or obviously, like we talked about, once the rut starts, all brain cells are off for that one, for the few day period. Anybody can get lucky at that time. Just get out in the woods. But other than that, you don't luck into a big buck. It takes some skill and some. You also got to make it happen at the time, which is,
Mhm.
as we've seen, not easy. Even with things like turkey, we've been out with new hunters, and the actual time of shot, and this is a turkey, not a giant majestic buck, is really hard to get centered in and make a good shot on a wild animal out in the wild places. So none of that stuff's easy. You earn it when you get a big buck.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. For myself, I'm hoping to get out a little bit more than I did last year. I was proud of
Yeah, you're
myself.
giving away a few hunts at hunt camp too, aren't you? A
Yeah.
couple late season deer.
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't give away any hunts last year. I was busy last year, and I just didn't get out a lot. I think I went out. I was trying to sit here and count up how many times I think I got out, and it might be close to maybe only like nine times I think. And I want to say I only went out like 2 times in October, and saw deer moving around the field, but too far away to shoot anything. And then I hunted rut, and then I hunted 5 different spots in rut that I'd never hunted before, or hunted or hadn't hunt that year at least. And on 5 different occasions, I saw 5 different bucks that I was really excited about. So that to me was my win for last year. I didn't get any deer last year, but I saw 5 bucks, and then I went out for firearm season. So I went out, I think four of the 7 days for firearm season, and then I saw a bunch of doe running around. Didn't get a shot on any of them, but saw some does. But so yeah, that was my season last year. So I'm just going to take what I've been learning and just figure out where to go. And I really like doing high opportunity, high chance sits where the wind's perfect. It's the right spot, right time, and I'm seeing these deer. Even if I'm only going out 9 times in a season, still seeing 5 mature bucks in 9 spots. It's pretty cool.
And we,
So,
we were talking off cam, I don't know, probably last week or so. But you're
mhm.
thinking about trying a whole new site to learn too. Potentially coming out with me to a different site just to try something a little different. Try to get
Yeah.
something that just because I don't want to say you get bored after a while hunting the same spot, but I know this is me personally. I almost start to get comfortable, right?
Hmm.
Where I'm not pushing the envelope enough. I'm just kind of falling back, like we just said. We understand what the deer naturally do on that landscape. So a lot of time, I can go there. I'll probably see something. But when you go to a new spot, oftentimes it like forces you to really hyper focus and get that kind of killer instinct that you need back.
Hmm. Yeah,
Well,
for
they call
sure.
that wanderlust, you know. That's the same
Yep.
reason why we got lions and bears moving around. It's just the only place better than where you're at is that other place right over there around the corner that you can't see, and that's we're all pushed in that direction. But that's to me, that's the best thing about hunting is it pushes you to go further than you would if you were just out there hiking around, and you get to see new stuff and you stay out there longer and in conditions that maybe you wouldn't otherwise, and that's where the adventures are made.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's also what's fun with hunting with other people. That's why I enjoy turkey hunting with someone else, because you kind of push each other to stay out or to keep going, because you think the other person wants to, but in reality, they both are like, I just want to go
You're both
try
ready
this.
to go.
Yeah.
That's why I
But
like doing stuff with my husband, because like it's like you're gonna go get a cup of coffee, and we're like, all right, we'll get a cup of coffee and come back.
Yeah.
Like anybody else, I'd be like, I'll just sit here and suffer. But like I can tell when he's getting antsy, so he'll be like, want to get a cup of coffee? And I'm like, okay. Like he'll come
yeah.
back long before I do, but I'm like, I'll go for that.
That's funny.
But another thing I'm trying to do this year is get back to Pennsylvania. I haven't been back. I have not bought a hunting
I'll be hunting
license.
Pennsylvania deer as well this year.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, out of state
Not
Pennsylvania
just
license is a little
deer,
over
but
100
don't you
bucks.
get like turkey and bear too?
Yeah.
Yeah, the season the tag structure there is so different than anything I'm used to. But you basically just buy like your hunting license and it gives you a buck tag, a doe tag, your spring turkey tag, your small game stuff. The only thing it doesn't give is bear, and you have to purchase I think it's like $25. So in
That's so
reality for
reasonably
it
priced.
is. So
Yeah.
for like 130, $150 total, I can hunt as a non-resident just about everything in Pennsylvania.
You do need to get a doe tag, but doe tag is like 9 bucks.
That's right. Yeah, it
Yeah.
comes with it. Yeah, it's the
It
yeah,
comes
you're
with a
right.
buck tag. And you only get 1 buck that in Pennsylvania, you don't get two.
Yep.
And I think that you can hunt Sundays now. So yeah.
In some areas, yeah, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, so you gotta get a doe tag. So either I'm gonna go back. I'm debating if I want to get a license or if I just want to go back and see with my nephews because my nephews are now 12 and 14. The 14-year-old's hunted. He's gotten deer already. The 12-year-old might go out. He's still a little immature, so I don't know. He's also a football player, so he might be busy at that time because he actually has the week I'm trying to go back. He plays 2 games. If I saddle my time away right, I could catch both games. So maybe I'm just going to spend time with family. I'll bring my camos with, and then if they do get out hunting, I'll go sit with them, or I'll get a license and I'll go and hunt. Luckily, back home, my dad got permission from his neighbor to go hunt their backyard, so I could basically get out of my parents' house and walk off into the woods and go sit on a
That's
power line
awesome.
somewhere. So yeah, so they got I don't know how many acres it is, but it's big enough.
As
So
opposed to driving an hour to our public land from here. Yeah.
yeah, so I
That
might.
gets old at 2 in the morning every day. Yeah.
Yeah, Dad's like, you could shoot him off the porch if you want to. And I was like, no, I'll go. Like,
I
let me
wanna
get
hunt a little bit.
30
Yeah.
yards into the woods, Dad. Come on.
That's
But
funny.
yeah. So, well, we'll see. But I'm excited for that. I'm excited to get some family time in. It's gonna probably be like the first week of November. So I'll see if it eats into the rut here. It does. If not, it's worth it. It's fine. There'll be more ruts to come.
Absolutely. And
Hopefully.
that's what I think is so important about hunting too. And I know when I first really started taking hunting, I was like, oh, I can't miss the opener. Oh, I can't
Hmm.
miss. You get this FOMO that's like so ingrained, but there's like you said, there's plenty of other days.
Hmm.
It's okay. Yeah. And so letting just life happen and yeah, don't beat yourself up about it. I know I used to a lot. Like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
miss Halloween. Oh, I can't hunt my favorite day of the year. But now there's plenty of other days. Yep.
You guys want to know my deer hunting plans?
Sure.
Wait till November 10th and go trap beaver instead.
I
Just kidding.
like it.
I mean, kind of. I have Jake, my husband's trying. He keeps joking. I'm either gonna get a deer with a bow or with my car, just with all the driving I do for work events. Um, he's doing private or public land this year, but he hasn't done anything. We've been so busy with our house.
Hmm.
Who knows how it's gonna
Life.
be?
Yep.
We're
Yep.
all
Yeah,
getting older and we all have way more responsibilities and and
yeah.
life
So
events
Yeah, I
happening.
miss the days of college where I could like literally design my class schedule to have all my classes on 2 days so I could have the rest of the week to hunt.
Yeah.
yeah, I figure my fallback. I'm not opposed to hunting deer. I just you guys know that's not like my primary
Mhm.
interest, and traffic is going
Yeah.
to take all my time this winter. I think. My what I've got in my back pocket though is we're going to be home for quite a while, and Virginia has this nifty thing where if you're on private land, you don't need a hunting license for landowners, their spouses, their children, grandchildren, and spouses of children and grandchildren.
And coworkers.
Yeah. To hunt or trap. So I might my
Take
grandparents
advantage. Yep.
property, so I might. And it's only hunted by my cousin like
That's
once a
cool.
year.
Yeah, it's a good way
So
to
we'll
put some meat
see.
in the freezer for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see. I have to see like what the plan is when I go home, but if we have time, we might make a little detour.
Nice. And you were talking about making some soap earlier too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I
Yeah.
want fat. If you guys get fat on your deer, feel free to save me some of the white fat.
Got it.
The caul fat. The caul fat I want that's around the organs. I want that for cooking. We all know deer's a little lean. You can like wrap your roasts and stuff in it. It'll melt into it as it's in the oven, and help moisturize it. And then yeah, for soap you can render it down. You can't sell it, because it's a game animal. It's not a trapped. So I could if I was, doing something like mink oil, I could sell that. I can't sell um game animal stuff, but I think it'd be fun to practice with.
Nice. Cool.
Maybe it'll be a hunt camp prize
There you go. Yeah.
next year. You get some deer soap. Um, give it to Kelly. She's the soap master.
That
But,
That's awesome.
is
but
cool.
yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Just whatever Jacob gets, helping him drag it out of the woods, and if we make it to Virginia, that's always my backup.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
and
forget.
along your lines, Dan, my deer hunting, I sometimes I like to go for big bucks, but food being the number one focus, I don't even think about deer hunting when it's like 70 plus. I do my own butchering and all that stuff, and like that's just a level of stress that I'm not willing to endure archery hunting. So if it's not a good hanging temperature, I'm just not hunting. I'm gonna wait until that happens, and it's like you guys said, there's always more days coming. I just don't want to put that stress on myself, and
Mhm.
I'm very particular about when I go out, and I want it to be hopefully 40 degrees in the shade so that I can
Hmm.
hang a deer in the shade with a fan and be all right to butcher that over the course of days instead of right now. If you were to shoot a deer in a state that it was open, I mean, you better be butchering that thing right now, because if you wait 20 minutes, you've waited too long. And yeah, I don't want that stress. I want it to be a fun, leisurely. I want to pretend like I'm a mountain man for a few hours, not like I'm Lucy trying to beat the clock with chocolates coming down the line. I don't want it to be stressful. I want it
And
to be
it's not fun. I've done it once and I learned a very valuable lesson. I'll never do it again because it was September 1st, the season opened in Kentucky. So, I mean, we're talking, it was in the mid 90s and I was sitting on a nice soybean field. It was so early, they're still bright green, not even a hint of brown on them. Shot a doe. Thank goodness she didn't run, but 50 or 60 yards, and I saw her pile over. But I literally cut that thing up and had it in coolers within 30 minutes. And like you said, the amount of stress, it's not worth it at all, at all.
Jacob's last year, I mean, it was cool that night, but the next day I had to go get ice and stuff and keep going to get ice
Hmm.
because it was second day of the season. I mean, in October it warmed up quite a bit that second
Yep.
day. And then we were gone for bow last year, so I was like, "Have fun! Like,
Yeah,
one
I
out of
remember
10. This
that.
is all
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
you. You decided to shoot it on like a Wednesday night. Like, bye."
Yep.
And I think that's one of the things that like trapping helped teach me that applies to deer hunting is like before you do anything, you have to be willing to do everything. And so I always think about that when I'm trapping. I never set a trap unless I'm willing to deal with this trap for the entire time and anything that it might catch. And I've already thought about any non targets that could be possible, that whole 9 yards. Same with deer hunting. And you hear other people that might be out there and the deer, I'm going to decide not to shoot because I can't deal with tracking it tonight. I'm just like, those are the times I'm going to decide not to go out, because I already know I'm not going to deal with that. And trapping has, I think, helped me focus those efforts better.
Yeah, I feel like that's come with age for me personally as well. I've grown in that aspect as well.
It's the trapping wearing off on you, I'm sure.
Trapping osmosis.
Yep. Uh,
Yeah.
Another fun thing, I'm thinking about maybe going to Maine. I don't know. But another fun thing was
You don't just randomly think about going to Maine in the middle of a podcast.
I just did.
That's a long ways away, man.
Well, that's what I just thought about going to Maine. No, I used to
Where
go out
that's
hunt.
at, it's way up there.
I used to hunt Maine with my uncle, and I haven't seen my uncle since my wedding. That was 8 years ago. And so now I'm thinking like, well, if I'm already in Pennsylvania, why not just keep driving? I'll bring my laptop with and work from Maine. But at one point, Dad said the nephew's Christmas present this year is going to be going striper fishing
Oh,
in New
cool.
Jersey in November. We've gone striper fishing in May, June, blue fishing too off of Point Pleasant. But I think Dad said that they'll be running in November. So I've never been cold weather striper fishing before off of Point Pleasant on a party boat, but we'll see what that looks like too. So
Nice.
my wife Katie went one time. She caught a 22-pound striper, which is a pretty good size one. They get even bigger than that. But so that's pretty cool.
Sure. And
So yeah.
stripers fight too. Like
Yeah.
striper
Yes.
is a fighting
Yes.
fish. A lot of people joke at like crappie as you just pull them up like.
Yeah, dead weight.
But yeah, stripers are pound for pound. They fight as hard as about any fish out there.
Hmm.
Well, if you're
So
up
yeah.
in the Maine area, I met somebody in New Hampshire who does or like she does guided from a trapper's camp. She does guided fly fishing stuff in New Hampshire. So if you need somebody
Mm.
up that
That's
way,
cool.
she's also a dental assistant. She gave
I,
Trappers College on her own. She was super cool. So
that's really cool. I've not spent any time in New Hampshire or Vermont. I've driven up through them to get to my uncle, and I got one of my really good friends who's a biologist up there. He lives outside of he lives about a half hour away from my uncle now too. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll end up going up there. I've been telling myself to go up there for like the past 4 years. I've been trying to get up there, so maybe I'll finally pull the trigger this year. If I go up hunting up there, I might go hunting. I don't know, man. I ruined it by Googling the last year we went every other year for about maybe 10 years. We went maybe 5 times, maybe 8 years. We went 4 times. I don't remember exactly, but it was when I was in college, so it was probably last time we went up was probably like 2015. But I told my dad, I Googled it. I'm like, dude, deer population in Maine, down in Pennsylvania, it's 30 per square mile. In Maine, it's point 0.2. And then my dad was like, what are we doing here? I'm
that's it.
like,
The only thing I know about deer
Yeah.
hunting in Maine is it's freaking hard.
yeah.
Like that's all I know.
I think statistically, I think my uncle's maybe the best hunter in Maine, honestly, because we went to one of the national conferences we went to. They talked about the success rate in Maine, and it's only like 10%. And my uncle's lived in Maine for 30 years, and he's gotten a deer every year, but maybe one, and he was super, super upset about it. And so I think if he's that successful every year, he's in the top 10% every year. I think statistically that makes him in the top like 0.5%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Setting the curve.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm focusing on family this year, guys. I don't know. We'll see what we end up getting.
I like it.
Hmm. Anything else for everybody?
Nothing here.
Nope.
Just looking forward to it. Really
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
I love this season, man.
Yeah.
I really, really do. I love me
For,
some
for so
football.
many different, I love the shorter days. I love the
Yep.
cold weather. I love football. I love hunting.
Just
I love
everything's
fall fishing is great. Fall
Like-
mushroom. I mean, this time of year is just
Yep.
magic.
Spooky
Snow will be
season.
here soon. Like I
Mhm.
freaking love snow. Like
Yeah, we should mention like the weather will affect a lot of those things. Like in general, as dry as it's been, if it stays this dry, things like our fall foliage, the fast forward button's gonna be hit.
Yep.
So things are gonna turn and they're gonna drop quick. So you got to enjoy it when we have it. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. At some point, we might get some water, but I haven't seen any in the forecast for the next week or so. So
This weekend.
yeah, up
there
here
might be
it's
some.
falling a little bit this weekend.
Yep. But yeah, no, I think it's still gonna be 90 even after it rains, which
Yeah, so
stinks.
it'll be 90 and humid. Neat.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
I'm looking forward
Fantastic.
Mosquitoes are going to be happy.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it. Oh man.
Looks like a little bit next week up my way too, but not hunt camp day, so we'll take it as of
That's
now.
Holy
good.
cow.
Knock on
One,
wood.
two, three, four, five,
Remind me
six.
of one of my favorite quotes from Dick Pronicke that I'm going to start using. The mosquitoes were affectionate today.
I
Yeah,
like
that was a
that.
good one.
My we've got 6 days of possible rain.
It's not focused.
Yeah, I figured it's fine. From Sunday to Friday of next week, it's a 40% chance of rain or higher, up to 65% the one day. So
We can use it.
we could use it. Help the farmers
Yep.
soften up that ground a little bit for them too. I don't know if they need it to be soft, but you know what I mean.
I mean, I'll take it too. I need to be digging up my backyard and doing practice trap sets, so it'd be nice if it was a little softer.
Yeah.
Make it a little easier on me.
Yeah, it was so dry down there at Bow. We had a tracking workshop. We walked around for, I don't know, probably an entire mile, and I don't know if we barely saw a single track because
Yeah.
all the ground was like concrete. So we found some
Yep.
scat,
And we know that place is tracked up because we were there last year and there was tracks freaking everywhere.
Dude,
yeah,
we
we
went up to the
found
one
deer
pond,
scat.
went to Donut Pond while the people were fly fishing and walked around them and looked around the bank of the pond because there's only water on the landscape. If you remember, Dan, we went up to that one donut pond and then there was like a fresh ephemeral. It's ephemeral means that it's once in a while. Yeah, there's ephemeral stream going down the one hillside there. When we walked down back towards the cafeteria, that stream was not there.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
completely dry, and the pond
Apparently,
was
the fishing was not good either. We talked to all the
mhm.
ladies; they didn't catch a single donut.
Oh.
Nope, no donuts. A crepe, which was weird.
Yeah, invasive species.
Yeah. That's pretty funny, Curtis. Okay. All right, man. Well, we're looking forward to it. Let us know if you like these kind of conversational podcasts, a little different than some of our more educational ones. We're just giving an update on the program. We have a ton of stuff going on. We got Hunt Camp. We're very excited to one, do it and then also get it done. So that way we're not talking about it anymore.
And
So
then
we're
we'll
super
start on
psyched.
next year's.
And then
Like
we'll
I feel like
start
as soon
planning
as
for
it's
next
over, we
year's. Yeah,
start on next year's.
exactly. It's one of
And if
those.
we
So
accidentally said something educational, you'll go back and just edit that out, right?
that's right. We'll cut that part out.
It's good.
But yeah, man. No, so we're psyched. We still have a lot more workshops. We got webinars on Thursday, tomorrow. I don't know if I'll have this up by then or not, but uh we would have had a webinar on deer hunting 102, and then we, like Dan said, we got deer bedding coming up and
We
a
have a
bunch of other
lot of
stuff.
special topics,
Yeah.
deer. We've got like trail camera management, data management, a lot of deer food, deer bedding. Like we've got a lot of, I think we have a rut special.
Yeah, we've got a really cool event too. We've talked about webinars a little bit, and we'll kind of close out with this, but a really cool
Yeah.
event. We're working with Sitka up in
Yeah.
Chicago. And so we will be there. I believe it's October 16th. I should have checked that date before I said that
In
out loud.
about a month.
I'll look right now. I got it on my phone. Keep
But
going.
we're really excited about that one. That one's going to be a lot of fun. So at the Sitka store, we're going to be doing a deep dive into rut. So we're going to talk rut strategies, all the different rut phases, what we like to look for in topographic maps, what we like to look for in sign, and just kind of really break down rut. But it's going to be a great opportunity to, again, just meet like-minded people too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
October 16th, 6 p.m. at the Sitka
There
store
you go.
in Vernon Hills. Yeah, that one's going to be fun, really deep dive into all the rut stuff. And who knows, Sitka may do some kind of giveaway with some kind of discount, some kind of gear.
Never know.
Don't know
Mhm.
100%, but they tend to try to do that kind of stuff. So that might be one that you not only get to learn stuff, but maybe you walk out of there with something that is going to be helpful, as they say. What was the old game Zelda? You get like a device and be like, this item might help you on your journey.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
Mario. I don't know, but it'll be like that. You'll get some item that will help you on your journey potentially. So yeah, we'll be pushing that one hard at Hunt Camp, and
Yep.
we expect
Yep.
that one to be filled up. So scoop up your tickets ASAP. There's still a bunch right now.
And we are planning on doing at Hunt Camp. We're gonna give away a backcountry hunting experience with us to go back down to. If you're here, if you're still listening, here's a tip. We're gonna be giving away from October 22nd to like the 25th, give or take. We're gonna be going down to the Shawnee to go archery hunting and camping. So if you're, that
Or
sounds like something that you're gonna
squirrels,
be.
Or
And also
squirrels.
squirrels
or
too.
squirrels if we have
Put
no
that
deer
on
sign
there.
at all. We'll
Deer
bring.
and or squirrels. Well, it's up to the winter.
Yeah, there you go.
Some winners may be all about the squirrels or not for the deer, but
Yeah.
either or. We should be able to find both down there. Not guaranteeing you a deer, obviously, anything
No.
like that, but we should be able to get on some deer because we've been down there scouting in the turkey season, and we've seen a good amount of deer. We've seen a good amount of deer sign.
I feel like we
Uh,
saw more deer than turkeys, at least
We
from
did.
where I was.
We definitely did.
that's typical. Yeah, I
Well, a
mean,
lot more
turkeys
armadillos than
are
turkeys too. So
turkey. The unfortunate thing is deer can exist a lot of places in Illinois where turkeys just can't. They're reliant upon mature trees, and we pretty
they're hard
much
to
only got
find.
mature trees where the water prevents the combines from taking them down, and that's just the sad story of it. But that's not changing anytime soon, so we'll take it where we got it.
Cool.
But talk about a good time to be down in the Shawnee National Forest, late October. Whew.
Dude.
That's gonna be a fun prize. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll
I
look
think it's gonna
forward
Hopefully,
to
be
the
that one.
fall
gorgeous.
mushrooms will be popping. Start looking into your fall mushroom, folks. If you're into eating yummy, tasty mushrooms and you think morels are the only thing out there, you're mistaken. In the fall, you can find like a dozen easy to identify fall mushrooms that are just as good as morels. The only reason most people think morels are the best mushroom out there is it's the only mushroom they've ever eaten fresh in their entire life. If you eat the fall mushrooms, you're going to be just as impressed. We got chicken of the woods, hen of the woods, chanterelles, black trumpets, giant puffballs. People
I
make
love the puffballs.
Now I want a
pizza
foraging lesson with
crust.
Curtis. Well, now we're gonna have that on there too.
Yep.
It'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. So
Yeah.
fall camping. Hopefully it's not 1,000,000 degrees, but
We need some moisture though for the mushrooms though. For the fruiting bodies to pop, they require a high humidity, which it's been so dry we haven't had it. Out of all the hiking around we did down there at Touch of Nature, we found two mushrooms in the whole area too. And
well, we have a month though, so hopefully
Yeah.
some rain.
yeah, things can change for sure.
Yep. Yep. Mushrooms can pop up pretty quick if it rains.
Oh yeah, they are quick to pop up. They take advantage really quick, like the desert when it rains, and then 3 days later it looks like a completely different place. It's so green. Mushrooms are quick like that.
I had a friend drive through that one time. I'll end on that. They went through one way and then I forget where they were going, but then they turned around, came back, and it must have rained since they went through, and the whole desert bloomed. And I can only imagine what that looked like. They said it looked
That's
like
cool.
For sure. I've seen it happen when
different
I worked
planet.
on San Clemente Island from the time I fly off to the time I fly back, which would have only been 4 days. You fly off a dry, crusty island that everything you step on shatters into 1,000 pieces. 4 days later, you come back and it looks like Ireland. It's crazy.
That's cool.
Like, oh man, did the Navy fly me to the wrong dang island? I couldn't put it past them. But usually they flew me to the right island and it just looked different.
That's wild. Cool. Yeah, a lot can change quickly.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll end it there. We'll see y'all at Hunt Camp. This is probably going to be our last podcast before Hunt Camp. So
Probably.
Yep. So come on out and we'll see you there. Hopefully we have a nice, successful event. Hopefully you win something and hopefully you learn something at least, and then we'll be out hunting here in 2 weeks. What? All right. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.